Aleph. Here we go. Chavei Amid Beis. We are holding at Gufa. Gufa. Very good. Gufa. We're about 14 lines down. First word in line is Eimalai Gufa. Says the Gemara. We're in the middle of a discussion. As we'll see in a half a moment, the Gemara is going to catch us up. So Gufa. Amar Rav Abba bar Zavda Amar Rav. Ovel chayev v'chol mitzvah is hamuras b'Torah. We said in Amar Aleph, this was the kasha. If you remember that we wanted to know what was the detail that Oisik b'mitzvah patim and a mitzvah. Was it tirda? Was it preoccupation? Or was it the fact that you're doing a mitzvah? We asked from Avel, because Avel is a very high level tirda, the very high level preoccupation, and the halacha is, and Avel is chayiv in all mitzvahs. So now we go a little bit deeper into that. One second, it's a Shtieble furnace in here. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Aval chayiv v'chol mitzvah muras b'Torah chutz minat mitfilin. Shalom Rav David. Amar Rav Abba Zavda Amar Rav. Aval chayiv v'chol mitzvah muras b'Torah chutz b'tfilin, except for tefillin. Why? Sheinemar b'hen pe'er. It says about tefillin that they are pe'er, they are your glory. Mida Amar le Rachmana li Yecheskel. As the Torah, Hashem told Yecheskel, pe'ercha chavu shalecha. Your pe'er should be upon you. From here we learn that Yecheskel had a special halacha at you, Yecheskel. Hu demachayvis. You are the one that is obligated to fill in. Aval kuli alma patiri. But everyone else, all other avelim, are pater from tefillin. V'hani mili, says the Gemara, no one should get any ideas. This doesn't mean always. V'hani mili, we're smack in the middle of Chavei Amid Beis. First word on the line is Vav Hey Mem V'Hani Mili B'Yom Rishon. This is on the first day of the Petira. Techsev, the pasuk says V'Charisa Ki Yom Amar, and that day is a bitter day. So on that day there's a special Petur from Tefillin, but the rest of Avelos, one of course is obligated. And now we continue with another halacha. I'm sorry. Oh, so that's a very good question. Rabbi Schuster is asking, is this connected to halachas of einin? And the reason why it's very interesting is because einin is usually until the kvura, which is what you're pointing out. Is that what happens if it's prior, or is it the full first day? I believe la halacha, the answer is it's similar to aninos, that once the kvura happens, then there is an obligation. I believe, but it is something that we have to check, and I'll say Baruch Hashem because not so fluent in such halachas. Continues the Gemara. Mitzdayer, new halacha. A mitzdayer, one who is in pain, pater min hasukah. Says the Gemara. I skipped. Excuse me. Thank you. Go back up 2 lines. Excuse me. V'amar Rav Abba Zavda Amar Rav. Ovel chayiv b'sukkah. And Ovel is chayiv in sukkah. Says the Gemara Pshita. Of course. Why would Ovel not be chayiv in sukkah? Explains the Gemara Ma'udatema. I would have thought Hayil v'amar Rav Abba Zavda Amar Rav. Since Rav Abba Zavda Amar Rav taught us mitzdayer is pater min sukkah. So if a mitzdayer is, I think it might be brachas. It's brachas. In the shelf, bottom shelf is a lot. If a mitzdayer is pater min sukkah, hainami mitzdayer. So one would have thought that an avel is also mitzdayer. So an avel maybe should be pater from sukkah. Why? Because of his level of tzar. Kamash malan mitzdayer. Kamash malan, says the Gemara, a very important detail. A detail that one day we have to come full circle and explain la halacha. It says the Gemara, "Hani mili tzaira dimimela." It's only tzar dimimela. We'll translate in a moment. Aval hacha ihu dekamitzayer. You are bringing on the tzar nafshe on yourself, and therefore you have to calm yourself down. And the basic way of explaining this is that if the sukkah itself causes the tzar, like we saw cases of mosquitoes, like we saw cases of rain, like those are the cases that it's inherent in the sukkah, that's when there's a patur. But if it's not inherent in the sukkah, it's your personal life. One's personal life, Rahman al-Itzlan, he's an Avel, in his personal life, he has an issue, that's when we tell him, I feel bad for you. But you have to get a grip on it, and then you're a chayiv. So again, if it's the sukkah causing it, then there is a patur of mitzdayer. But if it's your own personal issue, then not. What's the obvious kasha that we all know? We all know for the next summit we're going to see there's a din of a chayla and there's a din of one in tsar who's patur. And I think someone asked Rav Nachum, maybe you asked this last time, I don't remember. Someone asked, what's the difference? Why by avel do we say, calm down? But if someone's in pain, he has a splitting migraine and he can't sit outdoors, then we say that you're patur. It's a very fine nuance of a difference. Anyone suggest an answer?
When he can change, when he can't.
Anything you could change, right? Anything you can change.
A headache is
say
that you're not really feeling well.
So I think the answer is, one, it's a combination. When it's a sickness, when it's a headache, it's you don't feel good that you can't be in the sukkah. The avel, it's not that he doesn't feel good, he can't be in the sukkah. He doesn't feel good wherever he is. The indoors, outdoors. Okay, me. What?
The Gemara did answer later that a tsar is pater, but the helper.
Correct. So that's the kasha we're bringing out. So why is the tsar pater? So l'chayr, you have to say something like we're saying is the avel is it a completely isolated situation, whereas one in tsar, one with a terrible headache, one when it's pouring. It's the combination of the two. But let's. What do you mean? Say better. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's
yes.
It's not something that's not a reason for
Correct.
But it's a choice to feel this way.
One's more psychological, but it gets a little bit complicated because we believe in mental health.
So you're saying if you can have a headache in the sukkah or out of the sukkah, then be in
Maybe.
the sukkah. Be in the sukkah.
So that could be. That's a very nice answer. It could be that if you have the headache regardless, so then in a Hanami, what's your patur? So that's very good. So we have to see. That might be the better way of saying it. When we see the Gemara, we have to see that it could be that the whole patur of sukkah is that when you're not in the sukkah, you feel better. But if regardless you're going to feel terrible, so what are you doing? That could be the right way of saying it. Let's get there. Continues the Gemara. Again, we're about 14 lines to the bottom. First one line is Daite. Another statement. Chasen v'ashesh binim. The chasen and all his helpers, all the wedding party. V'chol b'nei achuppah. P'turim min hasukah. Kol shiva for all 7 days. My taima. Mishom deba'u lemechdei. They have to rejoice. V'lech li b'sukah. Excuse me. Shedeba'u lemechdei. They have to rejoice. Says the Gemara, okay, shkayach, they have to rejoice. This is din of Succah Chazarah v'kala. So v'lech li b'sukkah. What's the problem? So go and eat in the sukkah and rejoice in the sukkah. Says the Gemara, no. Ein simcha ela b'chuppah. The simcha is only in the place of the chuppah. Says the Gemara again, shkayach. So v'lech li b'sukkah. So go and eat in the sukkah, and then go and make your chuppah right outside and have your chuppah. So says the Gemara, and this is one of those Gemaras that it's obviously just building to get to the point. Ein simcha ella b'makom suda. There's only a simcha in the place of the suda. Says the Gemara, okay, so we'll have the chuppah b'sukkah. So make the chuppah on the sukkah, and then we'll have our simcha, and then we'll have our achila, then we'll have our chuppah, and everything's in the sukkah. What's the problem? So says the Gemara, now we finally understand. We thought, what does the word chuppah mean? We think chuppah, getting married. Now we learn the word chuppah is a little bit deeper. The word chuppah means yichud. The word chuppah means husband and wife being together. As it explains the Gemara, Abaye Amar Misham yichud. No, if you do the chuppah in the sukkah, and Rashi points out their sukkahs were commonly on the roof, we have an yichud issue. What's the yichud issue? Says Rashi, the husband might have to go use the bathroom. He goes out of the sukkah to use the bathroom. Another guy might be going upstairs onto the Shtieble sukkah roof to go have a cup of coffee. And what are we going to have? We're going to have yichud between this other guy and this wife. So we're not going to require this newly married couple to be in the sukkah on the roof because it can lead to a situation of yichud, which, by the way, really shows us how extreme yichud is. Because let's be honest, this is not the most obvious concerns, and one would think, the din of Succah Chazarah v'kala would win out, but we see that no, we're very concerned about yichud. V'Rava Amar Misham Tsar Chasen. No, says Rava. Oh, Rav Nachman, nice to see you. Says Rava, this is the first time husband and wife are being together. This is the first time they're in their own closed quarters, their own intimate moment. To have such a moment in a cramped little sukkah on the roof of a building, not a Geshmak Matziv. Says Rava, that's what you're potter. My beinayu. So what's the difference between these two answers? Says the Gemara, beinayu tishchichi inchi dinaf giva ililasa. One answer is that people go up and down. Let's say the sukkah is down on the roof. The sukkah is down on the ground floor. So people go in and out all the time, and therefore what? There's no yichud. Because he'll go to the bathroom, Reuven will come with his coffee, Shimon will come with his piece of cake. Okay, could be that the Rebbetzin might not be so happy, but Lamaisa, there's no yichud per se. L'man damer misham yichud lek, there's no shav yichud. L'man damer misham sar chasen ika, still sar chasen, it's still not a gishmak matziv for the two of them to be together. End of discussion. So that's the reason why Lamaisa, if one gets married, he does not have an obligation, at least to have their chuppah, which we're learning here means their yichud in the sukkah. Now, I think when we learned this, many people asked, what about eating? What about eating? So again, the answer is, if possible, then of course. If this husband and wife could go for breakfast and sit in the sukkah, then of course go for breakfast in the sukkah. If there is no scenario, we have to sort of reorient ourselves with the world that, the whole town had one sukkah. Not every person had their own pop-up sukkah and their own porch with a sukkah. There's one sukkah, so we have to deal with the situation. That's the Gemara. Amar Rav Zera, 4 lines to the bottom. Ana'achli b'sukkah v'chadi b'chuppah. Says over there, you know what I did? I ate in the sukkah and I rejoiced in the chuppah. The kol shekain the chadi liba, and my heart mamish rejoice. The chasidish amaisa of Rav Zera, kavin latarti. I do both. All the stories of all the rabbis, they ate in the sukkah in the rain and say, you're potter. What do you mean? This is the greatest simcha. So if someone's holding at that level, Rav Zera and the chayra, his rebbetzin, were holding at that level, and therefore that is what they did. Tanur Rabbanan continues the Gemara, Chasav Ashashbinim, the Chasan and the wedding party, V'chol B'nei HaChuppah, and the entire people of the Chuppah, P'tur Minat Tefillah, Minat Tefillin, V'chayav and B'krisha. By the way, Chaver, just to point out, this is really the end of the Chazarah. This is really the end of the Chazarah. This is the 5 blot that we did before Pesach. From this moment to the end, we chazered when we finished the parak. That doesn't mean we're not going to chazer. It's only Monday, and we still have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, and B'siyat Shemai will have a siyum on Sunday, which we'll talk about in a moment. But this is where we're restarting again. So just to reorient yourself, and if anyone didn't notice that, then maybe you should chazer a little bit more. Tanur Rabbanan, Chasan Ashashbin v'chol b'nei HaChuppah. Let's just start it. And we point out always, if you look at Rashi, this is not a discussion of Oisek b'mitzvah, pater min ha-mitzvah. This is a discussion, you're pater from tefillah because you need kavanah, you're pater from tefillin because the chasen and kala have kalas roish, but you're chayiv in krishma because for a moment you could pause and say Shema. Mishum Rav Shila Amru, chasen pater, v'ashashbinim v'chol b'nei HaChuppah, chayav, and the chasen's pater, but everyone else is obligated. In this top Rashi is the critical Rashi, Chavav Amud Aleph. Rashi says that Titania, we're not going with the opinion of Oisek b'mitzvah, pater minha mitzvah. Tanya, and we continue. Where are we holding for mincha? We have 6. Is anyone outside? No one's outside. No one's outside. I also davened already, but Baruch Hashem. Okay, your son's not bar mitzvah yet. Rabbi Kogis hopefully will be here. He's usually here, and you also want to put a chat on our chat at least. That we're looking for a few more, and we'll go for another minute or two.
How come from tefillin is only the day of the wedding or the day after?
So it's interesting because here we're talking about day of the wedding, because the day of the wedding there was kalas roish. Now the obvious question is, I don't understand. Put on tefillin at 9 o'clock in the morning and you get married at 9 o'clock at night. What's going on? So chayra, what it means is at the time of the chasana, we have to realize they used to wear tefillin the entire day. So their tefillin will be on till shkia. So it means at the time of the wedding, you show up to the wedding all 5 o'clock. Right. So you show up to the wedding all 5 o'clock. That's when the Patur begins. Tanya, we learned in a Raisa. Amar Rav Chanani ben Akavya. Koisvei Svardim tefillin umezuzos. Those who write Sefer Torah tefillin umezuzos hein. They Vitagrein and their merchants. Vitagrei tagrein. And the merchants of the merchants, all the people involved, and everyone that's involved in this holy work, La suye, which includes what? Moichet chela, someone who sells stitches, or betura min kriyish min atfilah min atfilah min kol mitzamuz b'atayra. Why? Here it is, as we've seen already once. Here's number 2. L'kain derisek lili, sherisek lili oimer, hoisek b'mitzvah, pater minha mitzvah. Tanu Rabbanon. Tanu Rabbanon olchen drachim. Those who are traveling. B'yayim, Petur Minisika b'yayim. Are pater by day. Chav b'layla. Holchen drachim b'layla. Petur Minisika b'layla v'chav b'yayim. Holchen drachim b'yayim b'layla. You're traveling both. Petur Minisika b'yayim b'layla. What's the Petur? You're traveling, you're pater. What shaykhis? What mitzvah are you doing? Says Rashi, it's nothing to do with mitzvah. Says Rashi, because teishvu kein taduru. Your sukkah is like your house. So you go on a business trip, do you take your whole house with you? Of course not. So too, if you go on a business trip on Sukkot, you're pater from sukkah. But if you're holchen the dvar mitzvah, if you're going to do a mitzvah, bein b'yayim u bein b'layla, you're pater both by day and both by night. Whether you're going by day or by night, okay, that's number 7. You're pater both by day and by night. Ki ha shkayach. Ki ha de Rav Chisda, v'Rabbi Rav Huna, ki ha'ayla b'shabbat deregila, when they went to hear the shir lebeirish galusa, have a ganu, they would sleep arkasa de Surah, on the riverbanks of Surah, in Amri, and they said, why are you sleeping on the riverbank? Where's your sukkah? Anan shluchei mitzvah anan u'peturin. And the chiddush obviously is, when were they doing the mitzvah? Not right then. The mitzvah was the next day they went to the shir. But because the next day they went to the shir, they were pater the night before. Why are they pater the night before? So explains Rashi, because when you're going to do a mitzvah, your mind is preoccupied with the mitzvah. Tomorrow's the shir, but tonight you have to get a good night's sleep, etc., etc. Let's just get to the 2 dots. Tanu Rabbanan, hopefully by then we'll have a minyan. Shaimri Yair, B'yayim, Petur Minisik B'yayim. V'chavim b'layla obligated at night. Shaimri B'yayim b'layla, you're guarding the city at night. Petur Minisik B'layla, V'chavim b'yayim. Shaimri Yair, B'yayim b'layla, Petur Minisik b'layla. Shaimri Kinas u'pardesim, you're watching gardens and orchards. Petur B'yayim b'layla, if you're watching both. Says the Gemara, why are you pater? V'levdi sukkah asam, make your sukkah out in the field. V'lesvei, and be in your sukkah. 2 answers. Abaye Amar again, teishu kein taduru. This is what you're doing, you're watching. You don't bring your house with you. Rav Amar, no, pir tzagari leganov. What happens? What happens if everyone sees that the watchman is busy hanging out in the sukkah? We all know what makes a good mashkiach, not a long mincha. The mashkiach that goes out for mincha for an hour, mit a mikvah, and a gavaldik mincha, shkayach, he's having mincha, but who's watching the kitchen? Who just turned on the fire when it went out? Who just checked the vegetables? So it's gavaldik that he's a tzaddik, but not when he's working. So if the guy is busy working, and he's busy having whatever, we have 10? No, we don't. We have 9. He's on a mitzvah video. We're 9. My benayud, don't worry, we're done. Ika benayud, come in to carry the pair if you're guarding a pile of produce. Doesn't require that much brain power. Therefore, you could potentially do. And you can watch it from the sukkah. Very good. So you can do both. Shkaya Chaver Mitzvah Shem, Sunday night we like to host a beautiful siyam. If anyone would like to be mishtatev in any way, please reach out. We want to do it. We want to do it right, and to do it right is not an easy endeavor. That's what we're trying to work on. We're trying to work on doing it in a restaurant, everyone to come with their wife and make a siyam the way it should be. But such a siyam is, everyone has gone out to eat. It's not like, a Haimish, $25. It's a shtickle bit of a matzah. So, exactly. No Thursday night Shalom Tin Kegel. So, if anyone wants to be mishtatev, please reach out. Kinyan gives something, and people already have gotten involved. So, let's see what we can do in Mirza Hashem.